Yo, guys. How are you guys doing today? My name is Rudo, and I am a full-time crypto trader and investor. Okay, so what did we say last week for Bitcoin? I was looking at the market here, and I was saying to myself, let's switch on some light here. I was saying to myself, this is a really decent sell zone. The market does need to have a little bit of a flush to get some movement going. And I can definitely feel like there has been a massive flush. Now, the worry that I had on what was basically the end conclusion from our discussion last week was that if we were to reclaim, and this was here, if we were to reclaim this would not be a possibility. Okay, so the market, the sell basically worked. We sold off, the market hasn't reclaimed. And here's the danger now. We're leading towards this CME gap at $80,000 BTC. So this then leads me, kind of poses a really big question, okay? Should you be buying now, or should you wait for the bloody CME gap to fall or price to get there before you buy? Okay, fair question, don't you think? Over to the comments to quickly see we've got live. Hello, Duel. It's the first time I see you. You're higher. Good to you. Hello, buddy. And then Renee, yes, on ETH breaking 3K. I think accumulation will only be half of the previous one. Can you take a look at Wolf on ETH? Normally what I don't do, my friend, is I don't look at coins I haven't seen before. So I'll go check it, and then next time around, if there's something, I will bring it to the community. What else? Half the time, LOL. Okay, so let's quickly then continue on. Guys, let me know what you're in. Let me know what your feeling is. Is ETH going to rally? Because I've got some interesting things I want to share with you. So yeah, hello, Crypto Hitman. Nice, buddy. Nice to have you here live with me. Okay, so let's end off with Bitcoin real quick, because I really want to talk to you guys about Ethereum. As you know, I've sold my BTC to ETH, okay, about a week, more than a week ago, okay, and ETH gave me a massive haircut, okay, and I have not offloaded any of that just yet, okay, and I want to share what I'm going to be doing there with you guys, okay. So Bitcoin for me now, this is a really good buy. Why? Let's quickly then finish up this discussion. I've been screaming and saying that we need to have a flush for the longest time. Why? Because now you can evidently see divergence. As soon as you fall below that first pivot, things turn bearish. As long as you stay above it, it's bullish. So what did we do? We had a divergence. We stayed above it. Then we had another divergence, and we didn't stay above it. In fact, we've been using that pivot now as resistance from, when's the last time we got there? From December last year, guys. So price has not reclaimed that and stayed above it. Yes, yeah, you could say reclaimed it slightly, but hasn't reclaimed it nor stayed above it. So it's definitely not bullish. That's why the momentum was gone. Okay. Now, what did we do as well? Well, when we were in these lows around here, I was selling hopium, maybe the market will rally, because you never know. The prevailing trend is still bullish, okay? The market is still bullish, okay? And so you have to give it the benefit of the doubt, but here's where the things change slightly, okay? Now, before I can tell you what I mean by that, let's take a recap. How the year went so far, or how the bear market from the bear market lows up to now, Bitcoin has been treating us. Gave you a sell there, I gave you a buy there, gave you a sell there, gave you a buy there, and another buy there. Okay, so we had really good moves. Yes, there I missed. I screwed up the buy. It is as clear as daylight. Buy the 50% of the wick. I didn't give you guys that buy, okay? Then the market rallied up to these highs, and I was hoping that it was going to buy here. So there's evidence I can get the shit wrong, guys. I don't have a crystal ball, okay? And then the market kind of ran away from me. So I made the note and I said to you guys, I am buying the dip. Now I've cleaned up this chart slightly. This note was way bigger and it was sitting right there, okay? And so like an idiot, I had to buy back where I sold, okay? And from that point onwards, we had Bitcoin in this insane last year, okay? Where we had good sells, good buys, good sells, good buys, and then we had a run of shitty ones where we were looking for the momentum to continue onwards. Now, if the momentum doesn't play play ball, the market just going to do what it does. It's going to look for liquidity, and that liquidity will typically be people getting the hell out. So what happened? Momentum lost, momentum lost, momentum lost. We had a bit of a shakeout. And this kind of sell zone is the sell zone I was just talking to you guys about now. Bitcoin at 100K. Why? Because what do we have? You have divergence. You have a pivot, okay? And then the market keeps rejecting at that line and finally then uses it as a base to push off away from, from that price in a bearish narrative, shakes everybody out to their core, buy zone. And then from that point onwards, off to the races. Now, full disclosure, guys, I didn't tweak this box. The buy zone missed for me by, what, $60? Shit. Okay. Sometimes it happens. So when I draw these things, I try and draw them vague enough, but with the hope that, everybody kind of has. So if you missed out on that bust, at least we had a lot of other opportunities to get right back in. So here we are. So nothing. So as the market is different this time, it's always the same, because if you then use that same methodology to where we are now, okay, chop, 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 flush. So I'm not saying I don't want to believe in the idea that we're going to go to $80,000 now. Just doesn't make sense. Now, I can probably wake up tomorrow morning with egg on my face and, price hits 80. But for now, we first need to do what? Find more bearish momentum. And the way that will happen is that the market needs to grind itself up and then go to the next area of support that was lost and push away from it. And the easiest way to do that is to switch to the line tool and then move yet another green line in there. And so, okay, right. If Bitcoin finds itself back at $92,000 a BTC, that could potentially be an area where more short sellers would want to be pushing away, with the idea to protect the imbalance that's left behind for a later time, okay? Like the market did here, So it pushes through, goes back, protects the imbalance, and then runs, okay? And then also, what I also want to just point out to you is the previous pivot we had there, okay? The first time we had bearish divergence for Bitcoin, okay? And that is now hopefully acting as support, which means if I then take this whole elaborate story that I've been selling you guys now, and I dumb it down to its simplistic form, or its simplest form that I can possibly think of, is very simple as this, okay? When something is going sideways, you're bullish at the bottom, you're bearish at the top, okay? And we're now testing a bottom. Okay, simple. So where we at? We're going sideways. This is the beginnings of the lateral range. Up till then, we were trending. The beginnings of the lateral range. And if this is the case, we can reclaim and stay above this level. We will build a demand zone, okay? A demand zone that would look something like this, a massive sell-off with the wick and price staying above that closing of that daily candle, meaning that in the future, when we go and visit that area, it would be a base for the price to push off bullish. Okay, so hopefully it's not that doom and gloomy as as we want this sell-off to be, because it's easy now to say, okay, right, it's selling. Let's go 68,000. Let's go worst case scenario. I don't want to go there just yet, guys. Okay. So then over to ETH. With all this being said, let's talk ETH. So finally, Bitcoin is bouncing on these demand waves of mine, and hopefully it stays strong. Okay. Let's quickly see what you have in the comments in store for me. Let's quickly see. Mr. George Strickland. Hello. I was this morning. My friend, I should have probably done something with my hair. It seems like I've just woken up. Perks from trading from home, I would say. What do I have for you? Well, I have got the following for you. Okay. I created this tweet thread, and it's talking about Ethereum, and I want to talk you guys through this tweet thread. And then I want to show you the Ethereum chart and why I still believe that our alt season and everything that we hold dear for crypto investing is dependent on Ethereum, and why this does look really bullish. So in short, okay, there's over $1 billion of ETF inflows going into Ethereum at the moment. January this year, there was 400 million. Okay, so if we go back to the chart, let's quickly have a look at our Ethereum chart. I'm going to bring it up now. Okay, let's have a look at where we were. January. Let's do this. Let's use this one. Okay, there we go. January of this year. There's January. Okay, there was 400 million. Okay, so we held a base. We created a sell-off. We tested it and we had a little bit of a rally. Okay, now we've got twice as much, more than twice as much. Okay, so what do we have? Massive sell-off. Price is currently testing that wick range. Okay, what if this finally breaks this trend? Who's the billion buying? Because it's not retail. Retail has lost all interest in Ethereum. Okay, then I want to show you this chart real quick. This is from my trading panel. Okay, I'm just going to quickly bring you up this chart. Okay, look at the volume for Ethereum. Okay, this thing is bullish, guys. This is my ETH investment zone that I shared for everybody on the Discord. It's right there now. You can see the reactions happening. Hopefully it bounces. Okay, so back to the tweet. This is really bullish for me because it means that a lot more supply is going to get absorbed, because once these big players buy, okay, the market is gonna basically then have less resistance. As the rule always goes, when the bus is empty, less supply out there, it's easier to manipulate. Now, if I own all the ETH, I just have to sell one ETH at an insane price to equal all my ETH that I'm holding on the side, to have the same value by market trading standards. Okay, I don't need to put all these in the market to get there. I take them out and I just sell a little bit at a high price, and this inherits that value. That's what they do, accumulate so that the supply gets absorbed. Okay, so the fact that this is happening for me, is it stuck? Is it coiling? Yes, but that's all the hallmarks of a Wyckoff accumulation or reaccumulation. Supply is being absorbed. Okay, so I'm thinking a real short squeeze is going to come in now, supply squeeze. Now, I don't want to dive into the Pectra upgrade and the hype around that, because all those things are just, I can always say, lubrication. It's either going to be adding fuel to a pump, or it's going to just soak the dump even further, if it's not well received. That's all that it's going to do. But the reality is, short squeeze is in the making. Now, where would that short squeeze be? Think about it. All this area here we have for Ethereum, everything here, there's a supply zone sitting in there. Everybody that went short, that did it right, okay, got lucky. Let's use that for lack of a better word. That's their supply. What I'll do is I'll make the screen even bigger. That's their supply. Where would their promises to buy be if they get it wrong? In this gap. Okay. Then what will we have? The next wave of people and their supply. Sitting right there. There's the crazy wick. Okay. So if price then pivots, squeezes these guys, they're going to be forced to buy, and they're going to just put price right back here where these guys are going to say, okay, shit, I need to also then sell. And their promises to buy, you're right there. And their promises to buy is going to bring them right into this supply zone and into that supply zone, and then going to bring price right back up to the top. And this then typically means that when the move happens, it should be quick, okay? Like the last time around. When you have these supply zones, once it starts taking it out, it's going to force the market in on it, okay? And that's what I'm betting on it for Ethereum. So that's why I'm bullish with Ethereum. So where it's at now, guys, I think is a really good place for us to buy it. Now, Twitter is obviously trending with X streaming, ETH and ETH inflows and the staking yield could make this a really attractive thing to hold, which is what's going to do. It's going to just take more supply out of the market. And if that happens, more supplies out of the market, the pump is going to be more violent, meaning it might be XRP-esque, It might look like something like this, just runs out of nowhere. Okay. Now, like all of these good pumps, guys, when they happen, you smile, you ride the wave, but when you lose that pivot, you get out. Okay. It's over. The move is over. We cannot determine how high the move will be, but all that we can do is stay in it long enough to find that there's no more momentum. And then when it's there, you make your peace, you sell your part, and you move on. Because XRP, like most of these other alts, now have had their moment. They've had their glory. Okay. They need to go on their discount round. Okay. Ethereum is down there still, guys. ETH is still in this equivalent of, it still needs to do that. Okay. Don't believe me? I'll show you. Let's get the right ETH chart. Okay. Let's zoom out. Okay. It's all about the perspective. This is ETH, previous all-time high. ETH is still range bound in the 4K range. The amount of accumulation that's going through here will catapult this thing. Okay. I'm not screaming and saying maybe $18,000. My best estimate for Ethereum is probably around 8. I'm going to be very conservative for now. 8, maybe 12. Not 18, 20, and. I mean, the previous bull cycle, people were screaming $75,000 for Ethereum. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves. But all of this accumulation has to play out like the last time around. You have all that accumulation. It plays out. And finally, when you get that blow, it literally runs away to a point that it doesn't make sense. Okay. And that's why I am extremely bullish on Ethereum. Okay. Now, there's a bearish narrative, ETH being in a rut, doesn't want to reclaim 2,700 to 2,800. And with Trump and the tariffs and everything around that, there might not be a run. And that's why I take things level by level, because there's good merits on both of the sides. Okay. And that's the end of the story. I try and want to look at it from both points. I say to myself, okay, if that is the case, where we at now, guys? We at range lows. Okay. It's time to be bullish on Ethereum. Okay. I went long this morning. There's my setup. It hasn't really produced any significant income for me just yet, or gains for me, but there it is. I'm putting my money where my mouth is. It's as simple as that. Okay. So over to you. Let's have a look at your coins, your comments. Let's quickly see what we've got here. Hello, Crypto Sarko Jr. and Liesel Mumel. Hi, mate. I've learned when I'm scared to buy, hope it pays off, scaled into spot on Sui, Ray, and Say. Okay, now, when you're scared to buy, it's typically a good time frame to buy, but there's that one thing I just want to say. The rule always goes, or the saying goes, buy when there's blood in the streets, okay? Just wait until they stop shooting. Otherwise, it's your blood in the streets. So I'm buying, yes, but I'm not throwing everything and the kitchen sink at this at the moment. I'm taking a conservative approach to this, guys, okay? Why? Because if I'm right, the market will give me multiple opportunities to build on this, okay? What do I mean by that? Let's have a look at the last time. Massive sell-off, okay? So ETH is either in this environment or in this environment at the moment. I don't want to try and overthink things too much. I'm just going to say either one. But what happens is, if the buy sticks, the market will do what? It will build demand zones, okay? So I'm just going to draw them out for you guys roughly so you can see them real quick, okay? And they're all supposed to be demand zones, not supply zones. I'm just going to change the color, okay? And that's the simplest way that you can have a look at it. Any big rally that comes or forms always gets built out of these demand zones that starts taking price forward. So if this is the case, if ETH is going to be what I think it's going to be for me, okay, it's going to leave a demand zone here, okay? And then it's going to go make what? A higher high, deleting hidden bearish divergence and giving me a higher high. Things that go up goes up, gives you a higher high. Okay. Then it will potentially come right back and test this demand zone and do it again and do it again before it breaks out. It's not break out and then tomorrow retire. Okay. If that is the case, you better sell, because then it's going to dump extremely hard. A good rally goes through these consistent tests of demand zones, and then they hold for some weird reason. People doubt them and then they hold. They doubt them and then they hold. Just like they doubted it there. They doubt them and then they hold. Okay, there you have it. So yes, be scared. It's fine to be scared today and buy when you're fearful, but just understand that you don't need to throw everything out. You can just stick your head out, take a little bit, and then wait. 2 weeks. Remember, this is large time frames, not 2 hours. Because when we get a good buy zone, we want to buy again. No, it needs to get in there. So you give it some time, okay? Because the big scale of time. I mean, this is the 17th of September. The 3rd of October, you were right back where you started, and you add, okay? You give it time and then until it runs. And I mean, at this stage, I promise you, I can't remember if I said it, but I would have thought it. What if we go back down again? You don't know, okay? And then you can add some more. Okay, it's the way. Okay, so yes. Then SUI. I mean, we looked at SUI. SUI for me, I think, is done. I would rather look at SAY. Okay, why? Because SUI had an insane pump. Okay, let's bring up SUI real quick. This is now Blowfin. Right, guys, just while I'm on topic, my new channel partner is Blowfin, okay? All the US, all the UK guys up till now couldn't take any advantage or get any advantages of getting the buddy indicated, getting any of the other additional advantages of joining the Discord, because the exchanges I had partnered with didn't give them access to that. They didn't have access to those exchanges. So I found Blowfin, and as you know, once I partner, I stick with something. So this is an exchange I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using it with you guys for forever. Now, if you sign up with your Blowfin account, sign up, get your own Blowfin account. Okay, very simple. The link's in the video description. Come on, load 1, 2, 3, go. There you go. Make sure that the ticket is in there. You can go to my Discord. Okay, in the navigation channel, simple as that. There, and you can click on the promotion page, and there's a whole little piece there that will show you exactly what you need to do. To get your access. I'll give you access to the indicator to get into the Discord, all the private groups everywhere in there, and you can participate there. Yeah, do your hodl bags a favor and upgrade your access. Stuff like that. Okay, so back to this. I'm not going to look at SUI on Blowfin though. I'm going to look at on Bybit, because that's the last. That's where we charted it in greater depth. Okay, so we've got a really good history there. Okay, so if we look at this now, and let's maybe use, I think it's Binance, because it's got a tag on it. It wants all the messy stuff. Okay, there we go. Okay, so SUI for now, for me, is over. Okay, so the people that are going to buy SUI now is buying it because, look at how great it did. I mean, we've got this thing at cents, guys. I mean, I wish I can get more coins like this. That just goes. We got it at 41 cents. It went to $4. Okay, that was a good run. Okay, and yes, SUI could be here, there, meaning that it needs to do this still. It still needs to create that whole cycle. Now, why do I say that? Why do I simplify this or oversimplify this in a fractal point? Simply because, guys, the market has this cheat sheet and it's free. You can go and Google this image. It's so good and it's so free that people do not give this thing credit. This should have been a well-kept secret, and then people would probably listen. It's always going to do this. This image holds all the accumulation and distribution structures in a way. It encapsulates everything that needs to happen for the next move. Okay, so ask yourself now: people in SUI at the moment, are they depressed? If they're not depressed, there cannot be another bull run for SUI. Simple as that, okay? So that's where I'm at. So I feel like the depression still needs to come back down a little bit. this has been too much. The success has been too much. We got our 1,000% there. We put a zero behind our number. 2 zeros. You can't do that. Okay. Simple as that. Okay. So I would rather look at say. Why? Because say, let's go to say now, has not had that same amount of success. Okay. So Sui's first pump. Okay. Then Sui has its second pump. Its second one didn't do it well. No, so maybe there's something wrong with it. Maybe it doesn't have the same marketing. Maybe, but okay. But from a pure emotional market cycle, crypto EMC, guys, everything is entailed in the emotional market cycle, okay? From that point, this thing is looking more towards depression than Sui would. So I would rather bet that this is going to be the one. Okay, that's my feeling on that. Okay. As for Ray, I'm not going to look at that one now, my friend. We'll have you can head over to the Discord and we can spend a lot of time on that one. So let's see what Renee had to say. I sold 30% of my pith last week, Thursday, on the candle tip. And I'm happy for you because I was looking at this morning and I was thinking about you, Renee. I was thinking, I was hoping, yeah, I hope she did something because this market this morning, you know. So let's quickly have a look at this thing. I think I didn't chart on this was on Bybit. Let's just get there you go. So now you've got the scenario, and let's talk about this because there was many coins like this we did last week. Okay, you sell there. Now you've got a situation where that's already up, down, or down 23% or 20%. Okay. Let's say I get shit wrong. Okay. Let's say for one moment, this thing turns around and looks like this. Okay. What do you have? You don't have your back against the wall anymore, Renee. Okay. That's what you have. Okay. And let's say this happens and we start moving up. You have an opportunity to either look for something else that hasn't moved, like say or other coins, or you can do the following. Okay. If we start moving up, okay, so if the dump consumes, I mean, I don't need to paint the picture. It's just going to go lower, okay? But let's say the market now starts rallying. You don't necessarily buy back. You don't try and buy back now. You're not trading your investments. Remember, you don't invest in a trade. You don't have an emotional attachment to anything there, okay? But when it comes to investing, you don't trade. So you don't in and out change your mind. You've made your call now. So now you have to give it time, weeks, okay? So if we're wrong and it goes higher again, and it will come and test this range, that's when you buy back. But then, because then you said, well, I managed to identify the bottom, I'm in at the bottom, and then we take it from there, okay? That's as simple as that, okay? No offense intended, but why so tough on them likes? This guy doesn't deserve a shit ton of them. No one does. My friend, at the end of the day, I'm not in it for the likes. The reality, though, is people don't want to hear when people want to hear the good stories. And sometimes a lot of the case, good likes come from good news stories. That's why the news tells you how you should feel about the news, not just the news. Okay, that's the reality. But thanks for the shout out. You've given me a like, and that's all I want in the end of the day. And I appreciate you for that, my friend. Okay. So yeah, let's have a look at the following thing. Let's see what else we have. Ondo, please. I did very well and still holding. Okay, so let's have a look at Ondo for Liesel. Let's quickly see what Ondo has to do with it. Okay, so Liesel, this one is for me, so it's a walk away. Okay. Look, there's momentum. It's there. I mean, we can draw lines for forever, okay? And can there be more? Yes. Can this thing go and do that? Definitely. Now, typically the retail pattern that you would want to research if you're in Ondo to kind of look at this would be this one, okay? The broadening wedge or something like that. So typically, let's do this. What's that now? Typically, that is what it will do, okay? And the broadening wedge means that every time you break through, you'll have this, and then the market will go to its next step. The best example of one that listened or adhered to this was OP. Okay, I'll go to OP now. Okay. But now the danger, though, is where is the accumulation? Where is that sideways? And because we're moving into a next cycle or next term for Bitcoin, I want to see an accumulation and I want to see a distribution when I buy personally. Simple as that. Okay. Navigating and managing the bottom, you've got all the tools, and you're in the Discord with me, so we can always debate that a little bit further. But that's the one thing that I would just say. Okay, so let's go to OP. See what I mean by that broadening wedge? Okay. Now, is Ondo here with another one, or is Ondo here with that? Why would I want to stay there if that's the case? Now, remember now, I've got OP. I bought OP, okay, with the idea that the next push is going to potentially get itself there, okay. But inevitably, if you're wrong, what's it going to do? It's going to go there, and it's going to go and die. It needs to die. It needs sideways and boring so that it can build its new set of however it's going to move, okay. And that's the reality, and that's the thing from Ondo for me. That's my opinion on that, okay. So an opinion, not financial advice, okay. Okay, let's see what else we have. We're 31 minutes in. I think I'm going to call the stream. Mr. Dreamcatcher, thanks for joining. Thanks for spending some time. There we go. And then, yeah, give me a like, give me a subscribe, share the content, guys. Let's get the word out. Let's get as many people as we can possibly get to navigate this crypto market successfully. It is a crazy place, guys. But with a little bit of experience and a little bit of patience, you're going to turn this thing around and you're going to achieve all your dreams and goals, why you did this and what you want to do. Okay, so tomorrow, okay, there's a lot of speculation around, well, not speculation, a lot of talk around Cardano's ETF. Cardano just pushed some crazy highs, okay? So I want to go into that with you guys tomorrow, okay? My feeling of where it's going to go still, so it's still not ready, but those kind of good marketing events is going to maybe add fuel to this. So we might see a nice move in Cardano. Short-lived though, but there might be a nice pump, like a ETF trap, you know, that kind of thing. So I want to look at that for you guys tomorrow, and then a few other coins. Okay, for the rest of you guys, Dennis, Louette, I'm gonna destroy your name, my friends. Thanks so much for taking time joining live with me. I'll be back. Tomorrow's Wednesday, so tomorrow is my day off. I just trade the whole day. Let's see if my trade is doing okay. It's still exactly where I left it. So then we're going to be looking at that. And yeah, I'm going to be trading. So you can join me in if you've got one of my partner links, you can come and join me. So tomorrow we're going to be there. Just click on that little button, or simple, go to the navigation and click on that live trading session. Come trade with me and we can talk shit and trade and spend the day together in the Discord. There you have it. It's as simple as that, guys. Have a lovely day and see you again soon. Cheers.